When Bella and Dory arrived in Canada, Aunt Rita's house looked like the perfect vacation spot. There was a cozy fireplace, a big fenced yard full of snow, and, most importantly, a refrigerator large enough to hide a dachshund and a half. The dog had survived airplanes, customs, and a taxi ride with a driver who kept asking if Bella was a polar bear. Now finally, they could relax. Or so Aunt Rita thought. Aunt Rita opened the door with a big smile. "Welcome home, my darlings," she said. Dory zoomed past her feet like a brown blur, barking happily. Bella, large and majestic in her white fur, entered with royal grace, until her tail caught a vase on the table. Crash! "Oops," said Aunt Rita, blinking. "First impression, success," said Bella, wagging proudly. Dory sniffed around the house like a detective. She discovered 3 squeaky toys, 1 suspicious dust bunny, and a whole basket of dog treats labeled, "For Good Girls." She looked at Bella. "Lux. Guess we're out of luck," she muttered. By midnight, Aunt Rita was asleep, but Bella and Dory were wide awake, staring at the mysterious, glowing fridge in the kitchen. "It hums," whispered Dory. "It's alive." Bella's eyes sparkled. "It guards treasure." They hatched a plan. Dory would climb onto the stool and pull the handle while Bella nudged from below. After 3 tries and 1 minor stool collapse, the fridge door swung open. A cold, golden light filled the room. Inside were wonders beyond their dreams: cheese, ham, and something called leftover lasagna. Bella's tail began to wag like a helicopter rotor. "Quick, before the human wakes up!" Dory climbed halfway inside the fridge, grabbed a piece of cheese, and froze. Footsteps. Aunt Rita, in her pink pajamas, appeared at the doorway. "Klein, why is my fridge glowing and barking?" Dory panicked and leapt out, sliding across the kitchen tiles like a furry hockey puck. Bella slammed the fridge door shut with her hip and pretended to be asleep on the floor. Aunt Rita rubbed her eyes. "I'm too old for this," she mumbled, and went back to bed. When the coast was clear, Dory whispered, "We need better timing." Bella nodded. "And bigger pockets." The next morning, Canada unleashed its full snowy glory. Aunt Rita opened the door. "Go play, girls." Bella charged into the yard, barking with delight. Dory stepped out and immediately disappeared under a pile of snow. Only her tail stuck out like a flag of surrender. "Help! I'm melting!" she yelped. Bella rescued her by scooping her up with her nose. "You're fine. It's just snow." Dory sneezed. "Snow is evil ice confetti." Still, curiosity won. Dory followed Bella into the white wonderland. They sniffed trails, chased snowflakes, and discovered that when Bella rolled on her back, she looked like a living snow angel. Then came the squirrels, 5 of them, taunting from a maple tree. Dory froze. "Enemy spotted!" Bella grinned. "Charge!" They stormed the tree, barking, leaping, and sliding through the snow like a canine avalanche. Aunt Rita watched from the window, clutching her coffee. "Oh dear, my neighbors will love this." Moments later, the dogs returned, drenched in snow, tails wagging like victory flags. "Did we win?" asked Dory, to me. "The squirrels retreated," said Bella proudly. "To a higher branch," Dory muttered. After their snow mission, Aunt Rita decided it was bath time. Bella sighed in acceptance. Dory planned her escape. As soon as Aunt Rita turned on the tap, Dory shot off like a cannonball. She dashed down the hall, slipped on the rug, and skidded straight under the couch. Bella followed calmly, towel draped over her back like a spa robe. "Come on out, Dory," called Aunt Rita. "Never! I choose freedom," came the muffled reply. Aunt Rita got down on her knees, coaxing. "It's just warm water and nice soap." "Soap is betrayal in bubbles," Dory declared. Bella tried to help by wagging her tail near the couch. Unfortunately, her tail swept Aunt Rita's mug of cocoa off the coffee table. Splash! "Oh, perfect," sighed Aunt Rita. A line. 10 minutes later, the battle ended with Dory wrapped in a towel burrito, glaring at everyone. Bella, clean and fluffy, strutted by like she'd just left a salon. "I smell like lavender," she said smugly. "I smell like defeat," Dory grumbled. That afternoon, Aunt Rita decided to decorate for the neighborhood winter festival. She opened boxes full of ornaments, ribbons, and glitter. Let's make the house sparkle. Bella wagged. Dory squinted suspiciously. Aunt Rita hung garlands while humming Christmas tunes. Bella helped by carrying decorations. Dory helped by chewing them. Soon, half the tinsel was in Dory's mouth, the other half tangled in Bella's tail. When Aunt Rita turned around, the dogs froze, literally glowing with silver sparkles. "Girls," she said slowly, "this is festive." Dory sneezed. A cloud of glitter filled the air. By the time they finished, the tree leaned to the left, the star was chewed, and one ornament mysteriously barked. Still, Aunt Rita smiled. "It's perfect, imperfectly perfect." The big day arrived, the neighborhood winter fashion show for dogs. Aunt Rita brushed Bella's fur until it gleamed like snow. Bella wore a red velvet coat with golden trim. She looked regal, like a Christmas queen. Dory, meanwhile, was less thrilled about her maple leaf sweater and pom-pom hat. "This is public humiliation," she mumbled. "Oh, nonsense," said Aunt Rita. "You look adorable." At the park, dozens of dogs strutted down the snowy runway. Poodles in glitter, huskies in scarves, even a chihuahua wearing sunglasses. When it was Bella and Dory's turn, the crowd gasped. Bella walked gracefully. Dory trotted proudly beside her until a squirrel ran across the stage. Dory froze, eyes wide. Bella whispered, "Don't do it." Dory did it. She lunged. The leash snapped. Bella followed. Together they stormed off stage, dragging decorations, knocking over trophies, and causing a snow explosion. People screamed, dogs barked, Aunt Rita fainted into a snowbank. When the chaos settled, Bella and Dory stood on top of the fallen stage, covered in glitter and victory. The crowd burst into laughter and applause. "Best comedy act," shouted someone. "Most original," said another. They didn't win a trophy, but they won the entire show. The next morning, Aunt Rita decided to restore peace, or at least pretend to. She woke up early, made pancakes, and brewed coffee. Bella yawned. Dory stretched. Both were still exhausted from their fame. "Today," said Aunt Rita, "we are having a calm, quiet day." The dogs looked at each other. That sounded suspicious. Bella. Aunt Rita took them for a walk through the snowy park. The air was crisp, the trees glittered, and all seemed peaceful until Bella discovered footprints. Large, mysterious footprints. "Moose," she declared. "Mouse?" said Dory, squinting. "No moose," Bella said dramatically. "A giant Canadian creature with horns." Dory gulped. "Does it eat dachshunds?" They followed the trail through snowbanks, behind bushes, across a frozen pond, where Dory slipped and performed what could only be described as accidental figure skating. At last, they reached a clearing. The moose turned out to be a lawn ornament. Dory looked at Bella. "Brave expedition, huh?" Bella wagged. "Mission complete. The beast is defeated." Aunt Rita found them 10 minutes later, laughing so hard she forgot to scold them. Back home, Aunt Rita cooked pancakes for brunch. The smell filled the kitchen, warm, sweet, irresistible. Bella sat beside the table, pretending to be polite. Dory sat under it, plodding. When Aunt Rita turned to answer the phone, Dory made her move. She jumped onto a chair, then onto the table. Bella gasped. "Dory, no!" But it was too late. The stack of pancakes was gone in 3 seconds flat. Aunt Rita turned around. "Dory!" Dory froze mid-bite, syrup on her whiskers. Bella sighed. "You're in trouble." 5 minutes later, Dory sat in the timeout chair, wearing a napkin like a prisoner's cape. Bella sat beside her for moral support. "I regret nothing," said Dory, licking syrup from her nose. Aunt Rita just shook her head and laughed. "You two are impossible." That night, Aunt Rita fell asleep watching a Christmas movie. Bella snored beside the fireplace, dreaming of squirrels. Dory, however, wasn't tired. Inspired. She spotted something glowing outside the window. The neighbor's inflatable Santa. It was 10 feet tall and waving in the wind. Dory growled softly. "He's moving. He's suspicious." Bella opened one eye. "It's decoration." "It's an invader," said Dory. "Thousands." 5 minutes later, the dogs sneaked outside through the dog door. They approached Santa cautiously. The inflatable's face smiled down at them. Dory barked once. The wind answered with a creepy rustle. "See?" said Dory. "He blinked." Bella rolled her eyes. "You're hallucinating." But then, a gust of wind knocked Santa sideways, right on top of them. Blank time. Chaos exploded. Barking, snow flying, plastic rustling, 2 dogs wrestling with Santa Claus in the middle of the night. Aunt Rita woke up to the noise and ran outside in her slippers. "What in the—" She turned off the air pumps. Santa deflated slowly, swallowing both dogs into a crumpled heap of red fabric. From inside came Dory's muffled voice. "I think we won." The next morning, Aunt Rita sipped her coffee in silence. The dogs sat at her feet, freshly bathed, again, wearing new collars labeled Canadian Chaos, property of Aunt Rita. "Girls," she said with a sigh, "I love you both, but I need a vacation." Bella wagged gently. Dory blinked innocently. Aunt Rita smiled. "All right, last adventure. Let's visit the lake today." That night, Aunt Rita lit the fireplace. The house smelled of cocoa and cinnamon. Bella curled up on one rug, Dory on the other. Outside, the wind whispered softly. For the first time since they'd arrived, the house was peaceful. Aunt Rita smiled at them. "You're both trouble with paws," she said lovingly. Bella yawned. "And proud of it." Dory snuggled closer. "Wake me up if a squirrel breaks in." Aunt Rita laughed quietly. Bing. As the fire crackled and snow fell outside, she thought about the wild week she'd had. 2 dogs, 1 fridge, countless squirrels, and a deflated Santa. Peace at last. For about 5 minutes. Because in the kitchen, the fridge hummed again. And Dory's eyes slowly opened. "Bella," she whispered. "Don't even think about it," Bella murmured sleepily. Dory grinned. "Operation Snack Storm Part 2.